I went into this show with just a different mindset. And through that, I've become a much stronger, more independent, more confident, and self-loving person. So it's saved my life and also just made me better, which is rare.
My name is Ally. Some of my friends also call me Al, actually.
I get called Ally
Oh
sometimes
my
by
gosh.
my yeah. My
There we
wife calls.
go. I first of all just wanted to start with saying I'm so excited to talk to you. I grew up watching True Jackson VP, and I'm a huge fan of the show. So very excited to talk to you for a little bit today.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, going into the new season, I just wanted to know, how do you think your character has evolved since you first started playing them?
I think my character of Oscar is so weird that I live in a van, but ultimately I think that the writers realized that I'm super flexible. So I could do goofy physical comedy. I can give heartfelt advice. I can play the stoner. If anyone is in for a con, like I'm the guy they come to. If you want to run a con, that every single character would come to me and say, I need to do this. And I could have a, weird idea, and then let's execute it poorly. And it'll backfire. So I'm able to do like all things. And I think they sort of used me for that as this utility player on the show. So it's kind of great for heartfelt advice, like I said, and the goofiest of physical gags.
First of all, going from being on Nickelodeon and like up until this show, I was always playing like 21 years or
Yeah.
younger. I'm 34 now, and
Okay.
so
Yeah.
they were all of a sudden like, "Okay, you're a TV dad now," and I was like, I don't. I feel like I don't even look like I can be that yet, but that's fine. Thank you for casting me. Um, so it's been that I my favorite thing about the character from day one was that he was kind of the polar opposite of what all of these TV dads usually
Mm.
are. They're usually kind of the like lazy curmudgeon guys who are thinking about themselves before their family. I mean, it's like that's like every trope of the TV
Yeah.
dad kind of thing. And Quentin was the polar opposite, where like his entire life is his family, and making sure that they're safe and happy and comfortable has always been his number one goal. And that was so it was like I basically was going, okay, watch all of these things and do the exact opposite of all of these things. And that was really really cool because I feel like it's a character that's been played a million times, but not in this way. And so it
Yeah.
feels like I kind of am doing something that's a fresh and new take on the TV dad. This show forced like I've grown up. Like I am a different person now than I was when I started the show in
Yeah.
such a great way. And it kind of coincided with what Quentin became because I've had a long career, but it's been up and down, and it's sometimes very hard to kind of continue to believe in yourself and stuff. And I went into this show with just a different mindset, and through that, I've become a much stronger, more independent, more confident, and self-loving person. So it's saved my life and also just made me better, which is rare.
Yeah. No, that makes me so happy to hear. And it's a beautiful story, honestly. And you actually answered my next question. You like got into my head. But I was going to ask you, how do you think you and your character have evolved? But
That's it. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. When you were kind of developing your character, were there any shows, like sitcoms or characters you kind of took inspiration from?
I always take my inspiration from three comic actors, and it's really like this is the Mount Rushmore of comic actors for me. It's Don Knotts, Martin Short, and Rick Moranis. John Ritter is amazing. So it's like you look at all these comic actors that we were able to watch growing up, and you're sort of like drawing from all of them at the same exact time. So it's and you're also learning a lot from George Lopez on the fly.
Yeah.
So I was lucky enough to be in that movie Night School with Kevin Hart and Tiffany
I
Haddish,
love
and I
that
remember,
movie.
yeah, it's a great movie. But I watching Kevin Hart operate, you're like, okay, I see exactly what this guy is doing and what makes him great. Or Romany Malco is in that movie, and watching Romany work, he's such an amazing comic actor. So I'm not only am I pulling from childhood sort of heroes in comedy and acting. But when I'm working, I'm learning on the fly from the great people that I'm working with. And Selenis and George and even Bryce Gonzalez, who are a child actor, is such an amazing little actor. He's so great. Matt Shively in his preparation is so inspiring. So it's like the people I'm working with and the people I love like all come together and create this thing that I regurgitate.
I just wanted to know, like, when you work with such a like talented and fantastic cast, like, do you have any favorite memories since filming this show, or one that you can think of that like meant a lot to you?
Oh, so many. I think especially in the Raiders, Lopez versus the Raiders episode of season two, I got to flex some really silly, it sort of encapsulated everything my character is able to do in one moment. Because, one moment we're silly dancing, then I got to do a really big emotional scene with George about our friendship. And then I stormed off in a very silly way and then came back. And like it was just a ton of heart and silliness all in the same, scene. So I love when I can do that. And I love when they give me those turns. So oftentimes in my dialogue, it'll say then. So in a parenthetical, so in parentheses, it says then. So I'll say one line, but then switch it up and like my complete tone changes. So I love the turns. I love doing the voices. They give me a lot of fun stuff to do on the show.
Well, not filming wise, I went to Ireland and golfed for 8 days straight with George and Al, and that
Oh,
was the craziest experience I've ever had in my life. Not only because it was Ireland, but just golfing in Ireland. So that was incredible. It's tough because I've never done this many episodes of a network show, and
okay.
so kind of learning how the comfort you get more comfortable, and everybody gets very much in the groove of things, and every day is fun. I have a great time with Bryce. Every week I try to get him. If I say if you do a good job, I'll give you a treasure chest, and basically I'll just give him like a last week it was like foot golf and some candy, things like that. But I've started to get him things that I can also use, so that way at lunch and stuff I get to play the games as well. So I think my one of my favorite things is I get to spend time with him, and I'm watching him grow up, and that's just been really, really cool.
Golfing in Ireland with George Lopez sounds like a dream. Like that's a crazy
That
schedule.
literally sounds like a dream that I had that I would tell a friend. Like it's so crazy. I had a weird dream that I golfed with George Lopez in Ireland, but it actually happened.
I know, and the fact that it's real is the best part. I would love to know, like, with, going into your third season, like, what do you hope fans take away from this season? What do you hope just in general, like, your show represents?
You want more and more people to find it. You want to be considered a great TV comedy, not a Latino comedy. You
Hmm.
just want to be a great comedy. So you
Yeah.
want to be universally loved, which is
Mhm.
great. So you want to have sort of critical acclaim and the big numbers at the same time. So
Mhm.
that's the high water mark for all TV shows like ours. We want critics to recognize what we're doing, to recognize what you saw in like those heartfelt moments and the silliness that goes and makes up a Lopez versus Lopez episode. And then you want, the word of mouth to spread. And for us on Fridays at 8:30, starting October 18th, want people to like come and really a lot of people to watch this show. So watch it, tell your friends, and then all of a sudden, we're going to be able to talk when it's season 6 and 7. That would be great.
I hope the people who are watching are seeing themselves in it, and I think that a lot of times the issues we're tackling are issues that otherwise would not be considered funny.
Mhm.
But because our writers are so incredible, and because George and mine, everybody's so incredible, we find a way. My mom always said, if you don't laugh, you cry. So like always try to find the light in something. So sobriety, being cheated on and losing the love of your life, not wanting to get married for fear of
Mhm.
abandonment, things like this I feel like aren't tackled very often in sitcoms, specifically multicam shows. And so we're kind of tackling these things that otherwise wouldn't be funny head on and making them funny. And I think that the reason why they're hard to make funny is because so many people go through them. And so half of the time you're watching it going, oh, well, this is exactly what I'm going through right now. But we're presenting it in a way to kind of make you feel better about it and to see yourself in this family. And that's, I think, the biggest takeaway, especially this season, is like every season it becomes more and more you see yourself in this family, and knowing you're not alone.
No, I love that answer. And it is really refreshing to see, you know, a sitcom that does tackle real issues like you were talking about, like sobriety and relationships and stuff. So it really is such an awesome show. And yeah, I wanted to thank you so much for meeting with me and congratulate you on such an awesome like career so far. And you're always going to have a fan in me, I will say. And I'm such a fan of the show and can't wait to see this season.
As long as I got one, Allison. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a great, wonderful rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you. You too.